rescue drill. We've got two scenarios going. This first scenario is going to be you find an unresponsive patient up on top of this roof here. Obviously you can see limited access. We can't get the tower up there. And we're going to also say that we have a staircase, which is like the OSHA side-mounted staircase, so we can't get them down that way either. So scenario one, our group one, will be getting the person down with the tripod. We're going to put the patient in the litter basket, take them on the side, and with the tripod, take them down the side of the building. The next one is actually taking a patient of size in a litter basket down the staircase, the scissor staircase. Okay, and they'll explain how that method is up on top there. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is just break up. We're going to get some ropes, tie a couple knots in that, make sure everybody's on the same page. Who here is tech and ops? Who's got what? Talk to me. Ops, tech? Tech. Okay, good. So we got some ops and some techs. So when you get up on top, make sure you ask to be in one of those rows where you can run one of the devices and stuff, okay? Everybody else who's not, we're going to do patient packaging and then just kind of haul. I'm sorry, guys. Here. Pull up through here. Same thing, right? Just make sure that's off their chest and go off to the back, okay? You guys will be doing this up there. Your bridle, 4 points. Here. So we said we're going to go from there to here. So we're going to put a line from here to here to here. So you're going to go flat, and then we'll hook up the tag line to this. So we can get a piece of rope. And then, because we got to pull away from the building. So we're going to raise this victim up, okay? And then just to get the victims up there, okay? But bringing them down, what we're going to want to do is we're going to keep them flat, right? Obviously the top is going to be heavier. So that's where once we start taking, we put a load and we put a load on the rope, we can adjust this. And then we want to keep them up a little bit. What we're going to do right now is put a tag line on to keep this away from the building. So this victim is going to be raised like this, but then we're going to keep it away from the building.
Everybody see this last time how we hooked it up?
Come on in and check it out.
So if you guys didn't see this before, the main line is going to the bridle. Your blue is your belay. So there's a level of safety. Blue always ends at the patient. So we put the hasty in them. We're also secure to the weapon right behind them. For a butterfly in, just an extra level, right into the bridle too. So if the main fails, you're still able to capture the whole Stokes basket and still bring them up with just the one. Okay? That's great. Now you're going to butterfly. Somebody wants to come up and do it. Butterfly your belay. So you guys see what we did? So your belay, your safety line, last ditch effort, everything fails, it's still going to catch the patient. It's going to catch the bridle in the basket too. If the main fails, you have your backup right here. And that's why we make that hasty harness to be able to clip him in too, kind of secure him to everything as we go up.
So, over here, each of these orange lines is one anchor. So we're sharing the load. We've got an anchor plate on each one. Running an ASAP as a belay. If you've never seen one before, we'll go over it and you can run it. This yellow line here is split. Half of it ties back the head of the tripod. The other half is to another anchor plate with two Junos. If you don't know what a Juno line is, work positioner. So you can set your distance so you don't fall off the roof. Alright? Over here, we just did one main line. So just the hull is all off of this one. It's with a CMC clutch. If you've never seen it, we'll go over it. We're going to use it on the staircase too. Those two lines that come off the yellow, those are tiebacks. If we only went one to the center of the tripod, we get that potential pendulum effect, right? We get all our pressure in the middle, but if something shifts left or right, the thing will still top over, it just won't fall off the roof. So we're winning. Everything's running through a high point anchor. There's just two pulleys at the top of the tripod just to give us some nice clearance. If the wind was worse, you can eliminate the tripod. You just put up an edge roller, edge protection. It just makes it harder for you to lift that basket up and over the edge. When we have to raise it, we're just converting it to a 3-to-1 Z-rig. You can do a 5-to-1, you can do a 9-to-1. It all depends on how many people you have to haul.
So we're making a artificial high anchor point or high directional, like Ross might have talked about. Our dead anchors are the back of the building. All right, just kind of a common thread throughout TRT cart, kind of redundancy in systems, redundancy in anchors. All right, in my own personal experience, anchors are what fail before anything else fails. All right, so get a good anchor, your operation should be smooth. If you got bad anchors, there's situations kind of overcome that. Usually it just means adding more anchors. All right, so like I said, we got 2 anchors there. One's dedicated to main, one's dedicated to belay. The one that's dedicated to belay is also now dedicated to some other features like our tieback system and things like that. But the idea is the belay is not taking a ton of the forces, the main is taking all of the forces. With that, in our green line, which is our main, we changed it over to a haul system to haul. Realistically, if we're doing this system, we're probably just worried about getting people off the roof. But the nice thing is, as carts evolve, convert things over very, very, very quickly. All right, with very simple pieces of equipment. So we're going to see all that today. As far as hauling goes, like that's what like most personnel kind of get involved in. It's like very simple. It's just nice, clear, concise commands, anticipating what's going to happen or what needs to happen, not putting bounce or extra forces in the line or rope. All right, and then staying within our footprint is like our biggest overall concern. So if we look at our tripod right now, that should be everybody's focus. Is if we're operating a haul or a lower, everything, all our weight stay within that. Right, we don't want to put forces to the left or right of it, pull back on it. Even though we can overcome that with some of our tiebacks. So getting to that again, we're going to see a haul system be built into our main. So this is our main running to our pulley. All right, this was going to convert now to a haul. We're simply going to put a piece of equipment in here, and we're going to pull in that direction. All right, the best we pull in line with this line and our anchor, the easier it is for us, the easier it is for our system. As we start to open up and walk out that way, all right, we're eliminating mechanical advantage, and now we're introducing new forces into our footprint, and we have potential for failure. All right, so you might be reminded to slow down and pull in line. All right, somebody's got to be paying attention to the edge. The guy who's running the edge overall, the guy who's running the lowering system or haul system on that end is also important to communicate to. That's why it's like important, like I said, to anticipate what might happen, how far you've kind of gone, and not putting a ton of bounce or deflection in that rope is going to eliminate a lot of shock and forces to the guy on the line. Okay, so again, not to insult anyone's experience or intelligence with it all, we just like to reiterate that stuff. We see it in our own department where we do different low angle, high angle type things. So let me make sure we're all on the same page. Newer piece of gear. All right, it's very simple. You can leave it in the system and load it. This our haul line is here. Feeds into the system itself. Clicks once it's captured. So I'm hauling, and now if I pull on it, boom, feed through the system. In order to feed through the system, I have to hit, it kind of locks itself out, I have to hit a sweet spot and kind of start to pull. Alright, if I let go, it captures itself. So it's pretty simple, pretty user friendly. But that's our haul and everything else. As we're operating it, I want to be outside of the anchors in case something happens, but I should be able to keep a hand on it. So once we go to the lower, the guy, someone can operate this. Pull up. Please call for up. Simply just walk back towards our. Good. More. Make that work. I'm just gonna start sending people over. Now we gotta feed our belay. So our belay kind of tracks, and as it goes too fast, it'll lock itself out. And in order to disengage the cane that's here, we simply just pull it back towards us. Alright, it's an ASAP. For us, a new piece of gear. Honestly, a lot of us, I don't love it on situations like this. A lot of guys put it on their harness, if anyone's familiar with cart. I'm just kind of, I don't know. It's one more thing to kind of look at, and because it has like kind of two ways of applying it, it kind of messes up how it's supposed to be done. So I'm not in love with it. A lot of the teams seem to be going that direction though. So if you do see it out there, it's called an ASAP. It's a shock absorber built into the system. Hey Mike, what do you need? Ready to lower. All right, free and safe in case something does shock out. Slide it with there. Yep. Yeah. So as we're engaging this, I'm gonna kind of be right here. All right. And I'm simply gonna open it, and as they pull, you can see that it's about as fast. Okay. If I let go of it, it locks itself out. Okay. So right where I'm at, comfortable position to operate it. This guy's clear out of the way from both, and then ready to lower. Okay. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna see everything kind of rise up. Our anchors. Slow lower. Okay. So once it starts to kick, everything once it gets over edge starts to build up momentum and speed. All right. It's just weight of the rope, weight of the basket. Get over and all right. And then it has it. This on itself, same with the ID, has a switch to haul. All right. So everybody saw kind of how smooth it operates. Pull it up this way. Then you bite it as well. That way. This is a simple cam pulley system. Cam is going to clutch the rope. Alright, load the cam. Our load should be down. Here, pulley. Right here is going to be our haul line. We're going to put 3 guys on it. We're going to haul in line. We're still going to have somebody monitoring the clutch and seeing it pay out and click. And then on the opposite of the belay, instead of letting out rope, we're going to be assisting taking up rope. Alright, so all teams stay here. Gloves and helmets all stay on the same side of the line. Put it over your shoulder. The same shoulder kind of helps. Walking in like a smooth, rhythmic pace. You can also listen to the guy at edge. Alright, so ready to haul, stop. Stop doesn't mean drop rope. It just means stop what you're doing, hang on to the rope. Alright? And then reset. We take the cam all the way up and then haul again. Okay? Clear to haul.
Doug, you ready?
Good.
Haul. Slow haul.
Okay, so 3 to 1, so every 1 foot they move, they move a third of a foot. Alright, so we hit it with 2 resets here. Stop. Okay, so you can if you go in the bottom,
Ross is in the stairs.
Okay, any question on what we saw? I know it's been very, very brief, down and dirty. Your anchor points is what we stressed all our own guys. Anchor points kind of set the tone, right? Rapid buildings, utilizing TMT vehicles, the correct application. And then your angles, you always try to stay within your certain angles. And then tying back systems as we start to elevate. Seems to be the pace or the direction of high angles.
Okay, go.
Alright, so the scenario for over here is you have a worker down on the roof and you have the staircase that you have, right? We're saying that it's a patient size. That'd be done for any normal sized person. We all know how tired we are climbing up, right? Alright, you guys didn't carry up any gear. We've gone up at least 5 or 6 times today, carrying bags, kind of beats you up. So what we're going to do, because this staircase has a gap between the handrail knows how it works, we'll let you operate it. It's pretty easy, but it takes a little bit of finesse, okay? We have one anchor with a pulley on it. We'll talk about why that's there here in a second. What the goal is to connect this guy to the system in the basket to the bridle. We're going to lower him horizontal. We have to carry him down at least one level. All right, we get him down to that first landing. We can connect our system to that, and then all we're going to do is have 2 or 3 or 4 guys start walking this basket down, and we're going to turn it. The goal is to keep it above the handrail. So as soon as it clears that other side of the steps, start turning it. All right, talking to the guy up above, slow lower. Anytime that we get jammed up, hung up, just yell stop. All right, if we need to take up the basket, the guys holding the baskets are going to have to lift. The guys up top are going to pull through the system. One thing you're going to notice with this system is it makes a noise only when going up. It's all right. It's an audible safety, so if you rig it backwards and start to go to lower and you hear a tick, 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 well, you have no way of stopping it, and it's going to fall all the way to the ground. All right. So let's come in here and we'll look at a couple things, and then we're going to go over lacing the basket.
Okay, this is our Stokes. I'm sure everybody's got something similar. This one's nice because we have suitable attachment points to it on the outside of the basket, and this will be for our bridle, and we'll get to that at the very end. Just a couple things to consider: size of Stokes, right? Some of the industry Stokes are smaller for confined space. If you can get your hands on those for almost something like this or an actual confined space scenario, that's usually more better. However, if this is what you got, then let's deal with it. All right, the idea is the basket is like anchor, somewhat rated, a safety obviously, right? The backboard's on him. If we need to put him in a hasty harness or a regular harness for possible vertical, those are all considerations as well. We've had real calls where we've utilized Stokes baskets to get guys out of basements, things like that. So this should just start to spark and inspire like some options and some familiarity in equipment you guys may carry, or as the scenario advances, like a TRT drill itself. So that said, this is ours. I know everybody's got stuff a little bit different. Nice thing with this is it's color coded and it's kind of already in place. All right, so all you have to do once you see it is kind of visualize what needs to go where, recall some of the steps along with it, and then match color to color. All right, and just like everything else too, we got one guy working on that side, or a group working on that side, and a group working on this side. It usually keeps things more, smooth versus everybody kind of giving their input on all different areas of here. So with the feet, and again, we have got a call with this with the guy with a broken leg. The feet is, we don't want to apply too much pressure on it, but we also want to eliminate him sliding. So if we have to pad the basket, we pad the basket. But we have the stirrups in here, and as you can see, they're tied off into the basket itself. All right, so the stirrups go through the feet, and we can adjust these as needed. All right, so not too much pressure, but in the correct, spacing and distance. All right. These that are tied in pretty much don't get removed unless absolutely necessary. And then all it is feeding or matching the parts. All right, this one's labeled somewhere on here.
Closer to the anchor.
Feet. The other one's labeled
head, 2 marked foot.
The other's labeled head, and they're both green. So that's about the only confusion that you might kind of encounter. All right, so head lace up, feet lace down. All right, same with the yellow. It's tied off in there and comes through these rings. All right. So I'm going to detach it and let this crew work this way and that crew work that way. The red and the blue itself, this is about, as technical as you want to be and consider it. We don't want to go over our rails. You kind of consider called rub rails. And the idea is we can apply like a friction or a force to them. So if we have a smaller lower rail, go ahead and capture through that and then come back through. Okay, so it's detached right now. We'll get him in place. And the bridle itself, again, this is ours. Very simple. It's almost like spider straps. All right. 4 points of contact, individual adjustments for equalization. So if we want it flat, they're all equal. If we want it heads up, right, we pull up on, or let that out and pull up on the feet. It tilts. You guys can mess with that tilt. Everything runs through a bull ring, and then our main anchor point goes up to Ross as well.
Just the bull ring to the carabiner on the orange line. That's just the adjustment. There's a tendon on the basket.
Your main plays in, and on this, it's low angle, no belay is required. Okay. questions on that? Bull ring's pretty simple. Hit the corners, hit the carabiners, lock the carabiners off. Okay, orientation screwed down. All right. Questions there? No fault. So the blue and the red will go basically over the same area. Red's gonna go this way and come back. Blue's gonna go this way and come back. So it's just an opposing force.
Blue and red going first, last, doesn't matter.
Carabiner by your right foot. Put that into our bull ring. Now he's at least tied into the system. Anything that's outside of the basket, we can kind of tuck into the basket. If it's got a carabiner, we can secure it to the basket. So like that rescuer line, we had a tag line, which is right here. We took it off for now. Just extra stuff to kind of complicate and confuse. So simplicity is usually the way we like to go, but then we also have to have the considerations of the restricting movement and the safeties associated with it. So
Basket good?
looks good to me.
All right, let's have you guys all come up here.
So you'll see too when it starts to tilt, you can tell them to stop, and then we can adjust.
Have the gap in the cameras. We can do this. All right. Okay, go ahead. Where you set your pulley, you kind of have to try to play happy medium with the stairs. So if I put this pulley here, we're going to have a lot of stretch going that way, and we have the potential for, if that weight comes off the rail, the whole thing to swing back farther. So we want to try to go in the middle. The other thing we have to remember is if the middle of it was right here, and I just wrap this pulley right here, we have to then tie this pulley off both directions, because as we pendulum this way, all this is going to do is slide this whole thing here, and we're going to lose all of our tension. We're going to create slack, create drop, and potentially hurt the victim or one of our own guys. So that's why this is wrapped here. Okay? With handrails, as long as they're rounded, there's no sharp edges, we don't have to do any edge protection. These ropes will play over it just fine. Even when you get down to this first I-beam for this first landing, it's not sharp. It's still technically rounded. Right? With welded staircases, you can put anchor straps on. If this was more of a temporary deal, like scaffolding, things of that nature, don't anchor to that because you can pull it apart. It's just held together by pins. Alright. This is just your typical swivel pulley, nothing fancy, right? If you've never seen it, we push this button, it opens it up so you can lace the rope in there without having to take it out of the system. The reason this is a delta versus a carabiner is, remember, deltas are 3 directional pulls. So because we have 2 pressing cords going into it and a pulley coming out of the bottom, we should have a delta there. Will carabiner work? That's all you have? Yes. This is just a little bit safer. Okay? Coming back this way. All I did was use an anchor strap and extend it out to give you a little more comfort to work. This anchor strap could be back farther, it could be webbing, it could be pressings, it could be rope. Right? Use something suitable that you would trust your life on. It could be up closer, but then you only have this much distance to that pulley, so I want to set it back a little bit. This is called the CMC clutch. Anybody ever used one of these before? Okay, so anybody ever used a Petzl ID before to rappel? Okay, so imagine the MPD and the ID had a baby, and it's a clutch. Okay, it operates just like an ID. I'm in lock position. Stop. Now I'm open. As you open it, that first one, it moves that cam out of the way. So if it's locked, you can't feed the rope through. You're like, what the hell? Pop it open. Now you can feed your rope in. It's got some very easy to follow pictures. Not. Here's your load. Okay. Your hand should be over here. It has a double locking for some reason fence. This will actually operate if this is all the way open, but don't. Okay? Some people get confused and they think the rope has to go through this cutout here, but if you already have your ropes down in your systems, you can't feed it through here. It has to come all the way around and run on this wear bar here. Okay? Rated Beckett, just like an MPD, you can build systems through this, 5-to-1, 9-to-1, 12-to-1, and haul through it. You can rappel with this. You can use it as a belay. You can run 2 of them at once because they're so thin. To load this, follow my line going down, anchor, or my load, and put it around this pulley. Make sure this is open. And I'm just going to feed my line in. Alright, now I'm going to close it. One nice thing about this thing is if you load it backwards, you will have an audible noise. Okay? As we start to let rope out of this, there will be no noise. Okay? If we were to haul through this or bring up slack, you're going to get this clicking noise. Alright? But you have to remember which way the click's supposed to be. So you could lace it the wrong way and go, oh yeah, it's clicking, we're going the right way. Just remember, if we're hauling up, I'm going to hear a click. Letting it out, I'm not going to hear anything. Just like an ID, I'm going to find my sweet spot and slowly apply pressure to it. It's going to start to lower. If I pull too hard and it goes more than 6 feet a second, it's locked. If I take my hand off, it locks. To reset it, I bring it back up, I'm going to feel a little click. Right there, I'm going to start lowering it down. Okay? Questions about this? Alright, so now, we have that basket down the first landing. That's going to be key. We need to get some space to work. We're going to have at least 4 guys on the basket. We're going to attach the main line to the bridle. We're going to start bringing up slack to get the basket off the ground. The goal is to just clear the rails and to keep passing it off, pendulum and helicoptering this basket down. We're going to go down like 2 or 3 levels. So when they're ready, what we're going to do is we're going to lift the basket up and we're going to tell them to take out the slack until it's the height that you guys want. And we're going to start walking it around. Be mindful that you will get those rough rails hung up on stuff, so there may be a point where you tell them to stop. You may have to lift a little bit. We're just going to let it lay down. Shorter the staircase, easier it is.
Right?
Longer the staircase,
So they're going to take it down
right?
down here, they're going to basket up on a clear this thing.
Yeah, you need to clear under this and over that. So as soon as those feet start to clear over, start turning it, bringing it around. And this whole thing will just kind of go back and forth as we slowly start to take this basket down. Good job. Alright, so you're going to lift the basket. Dara, you're going to have to unlock it and pull the slack out. Okay? You guys are ready. You got it lift, pull the slack out. So you guys hear that noise? We're taking the slack out. You tell them when to stop.
Let's go. So you went down there, fellas? That's good. Good?
Alright, so now you guys start walking.
It's automatically locked. I would suggest you put this in your hand here.
Well, I lied to you. I didn't know you guys were actually holding it up. I thought it was. All right, up some more.
Slack.
Slack.
Slack out there, Ariel? Alright.
All right, that'll work.
Good?
Yep.
You shouldn't have to carry it.
Yeah.
Once you let it down. So as they go down, we're going to have to take out. Right? We're going to have to let them take it down.
Ooh, that's cool.
Alright, you can.
Now you guys tell them.
Good.
What do you guys call it?
Start lowered. Slow.
Slow lower.
He's ready.
He's got to go farther. Now lower. Sit on the other side of the thing, right? Come on.
Go around the same as here. As soon as the thing starts going over, let's just start booking and turning.
Alright, here comes your slack. Here comes your slack.
Wide with your finger.
Find that happy spot, Dario, and just keep your hand right there. Let them take it. You guys just make your turns and just keep passing the basket off.
Okay.
Slow load down there. Slow lower.
I got the basket.
Shouldn't have to be one down. Slow lower.
Go down to that next landing, guys. Well, we're going to go down to the next landing and then stop and switch. So keep going. Keep going. Down. See, the clutch has a little bit of a finicky, figure it out, you know?
Got it. Want to stop it here, Rob?
That's fine. Alright. So what we're going to have you guys do now to bring it back up is you guys are going to carry it back up while they pull it out at the top, okay? So we'll be working together. this. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. We're gonna put it right back on that landing. So Mark, get ready to open that thing. So you guys are just gonna put it right back where we started. All right. Open it up. Slow lower it down. Yeah, here's where it goes. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Open it up. Down, 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 down. Alright, so anybody else wants to see the clutch? Come on up. Dario, why don't you come on over here? Take the slack.
So it's already unlocked. You should be able to hear it click, right? Yep, so we're good. When they're ready, you guys ready to lift?
Yeah, we're ready to lift. You guys ready?
Say one.
Keep going.
Alright, good there? Alright, so now get ready to lower. Yep, it's locked. Hang on. Take this in. You're gonna start to feel tension now. Open it up more. See the rope move? Take your hand out of here and pull it up here. Okay?
Switch out somebody with Mark. You want somebody else with their hands on it?
Get sucked in.
We'll lock it off.
Alright, we're locked up.
Alright, so anybody that has a message.